Billionaires almost never pay with their own money, even when they easily could. They borrow on purpose. And it's not because they can't afford to pay cash, it's because they know something about money that most people don't. In this video, you'll find out why the rich avoid using their own money, how they use debt to get richer, and why this strategy could work for you too. Let's get started. Why do the ultra-rich borrow money when they could just pay cash for anything they want? At first glance, it seems completely backwards. After all, most people are taught to avoid debt, save their money, and only buy what they can afford. But for the rich, the rules are different. And here's the secret. The wealthy almost never use their own money. Instead, they use something called OPM, other people's money. And once you understand why, you'll never look at borrowing and wealth the same way again. For most people, money is something to be earned, then saved, then spent. But the rich see money differently. To them, money is a tool, a resource to be leveraged and multiplied. Imagine you have $1 million in cash. You could take that million, buy a property outright, and feel good knowing it's fully paid for. That's what most people would do, but the rich take a very different approach. Instead of spending their own million, they'll borrow the money from a bank, buy the property, and keep their own million invested somewhere else, earning more money. Why? Because tying up their own cash in a single asset is inefficient. If they can borrow at, say, 4% interest, but their investments are earning 8% or 10% somewhere else, then they're making money on both sides. It's called arbitrage, and it's one of the simplest ways the rich grow even richer. Here's another reason the rich borrow: taxes. When you earn money as income, you pay taxes on it. In some countries, that can be 30%, 40%, or even more. But when you borrow money, it's not considered income. So, it's not taxed. So instead of selling investments and paying capital gains tax, the wealthy often take out low-interest loans, using their stocks or other assets as collateral. This is called an asset-backed loan, and it allows them to spend cash today without triggering huge tax bills. For example, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have both reportedly borrowed billions against their shares of Amazon and Tesla instead of selling them. Why sell an investment you believe will keep growing and pay taxes when you can borrow against it, keep it growing, and pay almost nothing in taxes? Another benefit of using other people's money is liquidity. If you tie up all your money in real estate or other illiquid investments, you may not have cash on hand when an opportunity comes along, or when markets crash and you need to act fast. By keeping cash available and using leverage instead, the rich can jump on opportunities and avoid being stuck. It's not about avoiding spending, it's about having control. Real estate investors know this lesson well. Imagine you want to buy a $1 million property. If you pay all cash, you own the property outright. Great. But what if you take out a loan and only put down 20%, $200,000? You now control a $1 million property, but you still have $800,000 of your own money left to invest elsewhere. And if the property value goes up by 10%, that's $100,000 in gains on just your $200,000 down payment. That's the power of leverage. Of course, leverage can work against you too, if the property value drops or if you overborrow. That's why the rich use leverage intelligently and conservatively. The key to all of this is simple math. If you can borrow money at 4% and invest it at 8% or more, you're effectively making money for free. This is how many wealthy people build huge portfolios over time, by using banks' money to fund investments that earn more than the debt costs them. It's the same reason why some corporations take on debt even though they're profitable. They can earn more with that borrowed money than it costs them to borrow. So why don't more people do this? Because most people see debt as dangerous. And that's not wrong if you borrow for the wrong reasons. If you use debt to buy things that lose value, like cars, clothes, or vacations, that's bad debt. But when you use debt to buy things that make you money, like investments, real estate, or a business, that's good debt. The rich don't avoid debt. They just avoid bad debt. Here's another interesting truth. The rich often don't care about paying off debt quickly. That's because if their investments are earning more than the interest they're paying, they're better off keeping the debt and letting their assets grow. It's about maximizing their overall wealth, not just being debt-free. For the wealthy, debt isn't something to fear. It's something to manage. So next time you see a billionaire taking out a loan, remember, it's not because they can't afford to pay cash. It's because they understand how to make money work harder for them. They're playing a smarter game, a game you can start playing too if you change the way you think about money. The rich know that cash is not just something to save, it's a tool to invest, to grow, and to multiply. And the less of their own cash they tie up, the more they can keep building wealth. If you found this video insightful, make sure to give it a like. It really helps more people discover these hidden strategies. And don't forget to subscribe to Rich Explained for more stories about how the ultra-wealthy think, spend, and grow their fortunes. Leave a comment below. Would you ever borrow money if you didn't need to? And why? Until next time, keep learning, keep thinking differently, and keep playing smarter.